right, today we are diving into one of those viral comedy skits that you just have to see to believe. It takes a pretty simple activity, right? Frog catching, and it blows it up into this whole high-stakes turf war. I'm talking interrogations, full-on brawls, and, believe it or not, a random commercial break right in the middle of everything. So, yeah, let's get into it.
So the whole thing kicks off with this classic super serious movie threat. You hear this and you're thinking, okay, this is some kind of gangster film, right? But the crime here, it's not a bank heist. No, it's something way more specific. And this is where our story really begins, smack in the middle of a very, very serious confrontation.
So what kind of crime could possibly lead to a threat like that? You're probably wondering, right? Well, it all boils down to this: a frog-catching crime. Seriously.
Yeah, you heard that right. The massive central crime driving this entire conflict is poaching amphibians. Apparently, our guy got caught trespassing on a rival gang's, exclusive frog-catching grounds. And in this very, very specific world, that is a violation of the absolute highest order.
Okay, so to really grasp just how serious this is, we've got to introduce the key players. And they call themselves the Frog Bodyguards. Look, these aren't just some guys with a hobby. No, they are the self-appointed, super-territorial guardians of what they see as a very valuable natural resource.
And this line? Oh man, it just perfectly sums up their whole philosophy. It's not just about the big frogs they can catch today. Oh no, their claim extends to every single stage of the amphibian life cycle. You gotta understand, this is like a vertically integrated operation. They control the entire supply chain, all the way from tadpole to, I guess, the market.
All right, and that brings us to the heart of the drama, the interrogation.
So the interrogator delivers this accusation with just pure intensity. This makes it clear our captive isn't just some random poacher. He's apparently a legend in the underground frog catching scene. I mean, his reputation as a madman totally precedes him.
But here's the thing, our guy, the captive, he doesn't even flinch. He stands his ground, completely denies the charges with this, defiant coolness. He's basically saying, hey, this is all just a big misunderstanding. Sure, I'm a frog catcher, but I am not a trespasser.
So, when just talking isn't working, the interrogators decide, okay, time to escalate. They snatch the captive's phone, call his ally for backup, and just like that, they're setting the stage for a classic showdown.
And there it is, the ultimatum. A challenge is thrown down, a location is set, the old school. It's one of those lines you hear in a movie and you just know an epic confrontation is about to happen. This whole frog dispute, it's about to boil over.
Okay, so this is it, the climax. Backup arrives, some more words are exchanged, and then, of course, a fight breaks out. But let me tell you, this is not your typical, well-choreographed brawl. Oh no. Things get chaotic, super clumsy, and then they go to a commercial. Let's actually break this fight down, play by play. So, step 1, you've got your classic threats and posturing. Step 2, a completely chaotic, uncoordinated charge. From there, step 3, it just evolves into this flurry of wild, totally ineffective swings. In the grand finale, step 4, everyone just falls over in a big pile. It is a true masterclass in comedic combat. But right when the chaos is at its absolute peak, everything just stops, dead in its tracks. In the middle of this brawl, one of the guys just pulls out a drink and starts talking about how refreshing it is. And just like that, we've entered an impromptu product placement.
Seriously, the fight is totally forgotten. These guys who were just trying to beat each other up are now just casually chatting about their favorite soda flavors. You've got Popz Kiwi, Popz Cola, Popz Strawberry, and they're especially excited about the new orange juice. I guess you could call this diplomacy, sponsored by Popz.
And just to add another beautiful layer of absurdity to this whole thing, they mention the soda's international quality standards, GMP and HACCP. Yeah, that's Good Manufacturing Practices and Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, in case you were wondering. Because, nothing builds your trust in a beverage quite like hearing about official certifications during a turf war.
All right, so after that refreshing commercial break, the tension is kind of died down, and this opens the door for a much more peaceful resolution, and it's perfect timing for the arrival of a voice of reason.
So, an elder shows up. You can tell this guy's a true veteran of the frog-catching world. He immediately calls for a stop to all the fighting and just asks everyone to talk things out. And just his presence alone seems to bring some real order back to the chaos. And now that things have finally calmed down, the truth comes out. And it turns out the whole thing was just a simple case of mistaken geography. The Frog Bodyguards thought their rivals were catching frogs in their territory, but in reality, they were way over in a completely different spot. You can just see the moment of realization on the leader's face. All of this drama, the threats, that ridiculous fight, the soda break, it was all because his men grabbed the wrong guy from the wrong place. His apology is so simple, and it just instantly deflates the entire conflict.
And the response he gets is just perfect. The captive totally accepts the apology, and with this one line, a kind of bond is formed. The rivalry just melts away, and it's replaced by this simple, unifying truth of their shared profession. I mean, at the end of the day, they're all just frog catchers, trying to make a living one frog at a time.
So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, the skit is just a brilliant satire of how easily we can escalate conflicts over really trivial things, right? Only to find out they could have been solved with a simple conversation or, maybe a shared soda. Which kind of leaves us with a question for you. What is the most absurd thing you have ever seen someone fight over? Really think about it.